Hi guys, this is Lashette from Scarlet Moon Creations, and I am back with a new video. This is my July reading wrap up where I talk about the last of the books I read in the month of July and give you those July reading stats. So, as always with the wrap up videos for the month, I give you the stats first. So this month I read a total of 6 books. 1,622 pages. It's not bad, but it's not great. So since I'm using Storygraph for stats, let's talk about moods. The biggest mood was light-hearted, and I agree with this. Second biggest mood was hopeful, followed by adventurous. So pretty decent. If you read or watched my mid-July recent read video, you will have already got an inkling of how that goes. Mostly medium-paced books with a couple of fast ones in there, but nothing slow, at least according to Storygraph. Page number. I've read mostly books under 300 pages. Once again, that was 67%, or 4 of the books I read. The other 2 were between 300 and 499 pages, which is more than I've read in a while. Page number per book, like that thick. I was hoping to get another one in there, but my brain thwarted me to the end of the month. Okay, all fiction, mostly romance and some erotica in that. Wait, 2 of those were erotica, one of which I was completely not expecting, the other of which I expected, and then the heaviness in the beginning threw me off. And so when the really sexy scenes started coming in, and I was not expecting them. But it is what it is. Formats, I read majority print, so 67%, or 4 print books and 2 digital, all in English. Last but not least, the ratings. I read 1 4.5-star book, 3 4-star books, 1 3.5-star book, and 1 3-star book. So, that being said, let's talk about, it seems, the last 2 books I read in the month. Neither of which were planned, though I did want to read both of them. First up, I read Swim Team by Johnny Christmas. Yes, I had to double check that, and I keep checking it because I'm like, what? This is a graphic novel that I read digitally. So actually, I need to change that print and ebook stats because I definitely read more digitally than print. But anyway, this is a middle grade, I believe, and it was cute. I forgot to do my, summertime disclaimers. The window's open, my fan is on so I don't die. So there will be ambient noises, and I'll edit out as much as possible. Yeah, I read this because I've been wanting to, influenced by Ashley at Bookish Realm and Realm of Comics. And yeah, this is about a little girl who, her and her father moved from, I think, New York City to somewhere in Florida, and she's more of a math geek, but the math club is not, no, the math club is full at her new school. So since she's required to have like an extracurricular activity or join a club at the school, the only thing available is this swim class. But unfortunately, she doesn't know how to swim. She has a fear of swimming. And so this creates some issues for her. So this is interesting collection of events. It's, I guess, kind of slice of life, but a young black girl's life, and we get some history and some, regular everyday stuff, particularly for a middle schooler. Like, it was fun and cute. I love the art style. I think this is amongst my favorite art styles for graphic novels. I don't know what I was expecting going into this. I got more than I was, I think. But also, because of Ashley's review, I don't think I was super surprised by anything. It's not so much that she gave more details that I'm giving. It's just that she was like, she was shocked somewhat about what was in here. It's a really wonderful story. I like the mentorship that happens. The history we have is about black people in pools and swimming. Because quite honestly, that's kind of like a myth, at least amongst black people. I'm not in the US. I'm not sure how people of other races in this country really see black people and swimming as a thing, or black people in water as a thing. But it's like black people don't swim, and there are various historical events, reasons for that, but also like that's not true in general, right? Like, obviously black people are not a monolith, so some swim, some don't. Some like to get in the water, others don't, and it is what it is. I love water and I love swimming. I have swum in lakes and rivers as well as the ocean, and I'm here in the Northeast, so our water is not clear. Garbage, dirt, dumping aside, and it's better than it used to be. All of that aside, it's just the sand at the bottom of our ocean and the dirt at the bottom of our rivers and lakes is darker, and we have a lot more seaweed and a lot of other like natural things in our water that makes it not clear crystal blue. And the sky is not always clearing blue here either, so that's a whole other thing. There's also the more modern things. Like for me growing up, it was a thing like girls don't like to get in the water because their hair will get wet and that will mess up the relaxer, which took hours and probably either store-bought money or time in a salon where you had to pay even more to get your hair straightened, and if you got it wet, that ruined it. And I've been there, but not getting my hair wet was not an option for me. I like the water way too much, so I'm getting in. One of the many reasons why I don't relax my hair. What happens in this is, it was just a fun ride. You feel for the girl. Like, do none of these school buses have good brakes and quiet engines? Because I would like to know. So there's themes of dealing with fear because she is actually afraid of the water, while also fitting in, friendships, dealing with prejudice. There's classism, there's racism, like I said, the mentorship, the expectations, familial expectations. I enjoyed them all. This is a happy ending for pretty much everybody, and it's a middle school book. So I don't know if I mentioned, but I gave it 4 stars. The last book I finished this month was also not on my TBR. I don't really have TBRs, but I try to read, what I have around. And I didn't have this around either. This, I guess I can blame on Instagram, particularly Libros and Tarot. They put me on to the fact that this book was coming out, and I did look for it in the library, and they had it. It was on hold, and it became available, and I was like, let's go. This is a romance, but not a traditional one in one sense. Lizards Hold the Sun by Danny Trujillo. This was really sweet and lovely. I can't think of what other words to say. I gave it 4.5 stars. I read it digitally. We're following Xiomara, who is an indigenous Mexican archaeologist. And she has a new job in Canada, which is to help this local native tribe preserve, move, and start a museum for a burial mound that has been found of their, I guess, ancestors. And so she's working on the reservation there and with the local tribes there. And one of the people she winds up working with, like a contractor slash architect, is Callahan, and he's a Canadian native or indigenous man. The way the story is told is different than, I guess, traditionally published romances, or at least, I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't read as much romance as I used to, so I could just be talking out my ass on that one. First of all, I love that these are grown people in their 30s, right? Callahan earned his architecture degree like over a decade ago. He hasn't really had a chance to use it because he stayed home on the res to help his elderly father and his many, many siblings. Then there's Xiomara, who is coming, very far from Mexico to Canada, and she's kind of won this job, or not won, but I guess it was really hard to get this job, so she's very nervous and very worried about making a good impression. There's the additional, I guess, idea that this is a native, indigenous job, so she wants to do a good job. She wants to do her work and do it very well to show that she can be respectful of indigenous artifacts and the burial mound and the people who were buried there, in particular in their culture then and now, right? Their meeting was, I think it was there's like a lust at first sight thing going on, and it's romance. We know it's going to be a happily ever after, unless we're talking about these newfangled people online saying romance doesn't have to end with the people together. I'm like, I don't want it. Call it something else, or at least put a warning, because I don't want that. That's not anyway. I like them together. There was kind of a love triangle, or it's more like an arrow head. Or she had two guys who were interested in her, one Callahan and somebody else, and that was really awkward. That wound up being solved in a very calm way, somewhat. Well, honestly, for me, quite unbelievable. If it works, it works, and we got to focus on her and Callahan. But then, they had a very dramatic third act breakup to me, and I was like, this was drama free almost 100% of the book before this. Even with the other guy liking her, it was very low key, probably stressful for her, but it wasn't, dramatic and whatnot on the page. I don't know how else to say that. And the third act breakup, it happened. You saw it coming. It was a very slow moving train that eventually hit something, so it wasn't a surprise, but it was still a little annoying for me. Because, I know these things happen. I know it was coming. The way she reacted, and there was a lot of tears. Not from me, from them. So I was just like, wow, we are... Okay. Your feelings are valid. overall, I enjoyed it. Like I said, they definitely had the chemistry. I liked all of the secondary and tertiary characters, everybody, um, including the other dude who liked her. But I think he was like the least likable character for me, but because of the way he was going about, like, showing his interest in her, I felt uncomfortable because of his position, but also how he wasn't being direct in telling her, but kind of acting in a certain way that showed he was interested to others, like this, like he was claiming her to an extent to others, right? So it just, if I was in that position, I would have been uncomfortable with the way he was acting. I think that's what I can say. So yeah, 4.5 stars. There is going to be a sequel, which I'm looking forward to because I enjoyed this. Like, I really also gotta say I enjoyed the look at archaeology from a indigenous point of view. I would like to also warn people that there is Spanish thrown in here and it's not translated. So get your Google ready if you need it. This being a indigenous and Latinx author, I think you should prepare yourself for that. It is what it is. They don't have to if they don't want to. That makes its own voices. I love this cover also. Just great. And I wish them both the best. The way they describe each other physically, I'm just like, wow, y'all are hot. So on that note, that's the last book I read this month. Leave me a lizard emoji in the comments down below if you want to help a sister out but don't know what to say. Have you read either of these books? Or if you watched my previous video and didn't comment, have you read any of the books I read this month? And what did you think of them? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, tell me what was the best book or your favorite book that you read in the month of July. I want to know. That being said, guys, like this video if you liked it, subscribe. If you are new, hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming. I have some vlogs from last year that I refused to delete but haven't edited that I will probably post up several times over the month of August. So you have those to look forward to if the first one hasn't already gone up. And on the 20th, I will be doing a 24-hour read along. Will not be live for 24 hours, but I will go live at least twice, probably only twice, during the day. That is my 5th anniversary of bookish content here on YouTube. My 5th booktube anniversary, and so I will have reading sprints, but I will also, in between those sprints, be talking about how my reading has changed over the past 5 years, giving you some stats here and there, like my favorite books 5 years over the past 5 years, and just some other things I might feel like talking about. So go hit that, find that video. It should already be scheduled. Hit the notify me button so you can go live with me. Links in the description to everything I've talked about here, as well as my Storygraph and Goodreads if you'd like to be my friend on either or both of those. Also, social media accounts if you'd like to follow me anywhere else. More bookish content on Twitter than there is on Instagram now. And 10% off discount code to my Etsy shop where I make all natural bath and body products, and also offer tarot and oracle card readings. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.